All right, and they would want us to find I1 and V naught, V0. All right, so I1 we can understand. They want the current through this 6K resistor, through this branch. V naught is kind of dangling off here to the side. And what they're saying is, again, if we can think of it like a multimeter, that we're going to come in here with the plus and minus and measure this voltage. And all we've done is extend from these two nodes. We've just extended out for convenience so that we have room to label this V naught. So this V naught is the same as the voltage across this 4K resistor. When we extend this out here, this V naught is an open circuit. Right? There's not going to be any current through here. It's just going to be a voltage that we measure. So if we're going to start writing KCL and KVL for this circuit, we would want to label some directions and some nodes and currents and things. All right. So let's label nodes A, B, C, and D is the whole bottom here, would actually be all the way out to there. That's node D. Right. And node C is all of that. Anywhere we would touch that, we would measure the same thing. They labeled I1 for us, and then we get to pick the rest of the current directions. So typically, I would go with the source and have a current that comes up and out of the source, and then I1 is going to go down, and then I would have my current go across and down. So when we get to node C, it seems like we would want to have an arrow there going off to the right. But because of the open circuit, when we get to the terminal here, we get to this tip, there's nowhere for the current to go. There's no wire, there's no resistor, there's no source. It's just hanging out there in space. Right? If there's nowhere for the current to go, then that current is going to be 0 amps. Right? And that's because of this open circuit. All right. This is one of the places where the analogies of electricity being like water flowing, this is one of the places where the analogy kind of falls apart. We know that this is imperfect, right? That we could have just the tiniest bit of water dripping out of here. We could have a leak, right? But with electricity, if there's nowhere for the current to go, the electrons do not drip out of the end of the wire. Right? There's no leaking out of the end of the wire. If there were, we'd have a big problem because every outlet would have electricity dripping out of it. Right? We know that's not true. So if there's nothing in there, there's no leak.